One piece of jewelry worth more than an entire nation. Sounds impossible. But Queen Victoria proved there's no limit to human greed. For this crown, she betrayed her own blood, robbed her German relatives, and sparked a diplomatic scandal across Europe. The brutal truth about history's most avaricious monarch will shock you. Victoria was willing to sacrifice her empire for a handful of diamonds. And here's the most terrifying part. Her greed truly destroyed the dynasty, and we still see the consequences today. Prepare to discover how one crown shattered relationships between nations and why modern monarchs fear touching these stones. Stay until the end. The finale will shake you to your core. January 22nd, 1901, changed the fate of the British crown forever. On this bitter winter day, the 19th century's greatest ruler passed away, leaving behind an empire and a treasure trove unlike any in history. But among all the precious jewels we've already explored, one piece was deliberately saved for last, as if the Queen kept it as her final ace up her sleeve. This was the royal crown, a creation so unique that every element told its own story of power and majesty. Picture a diamond circlet where heraldic fleur-de-lis alternate with cross patterns, creating a mesmerizing rhythm of light and shadow. But this was merely the foundation for the true marvel. Removable honeysuckle elements that transformed a simple band into a masterpiece worthy of ancient craftsmen. And crowning this achievement was the ability to mount the legendary Koh-i-Noor diamond, a stone whose history runs red with the blood of Indian dynasties and British ambition. But how was this symbol of imperial might born? 1853 became a turning point for the House of Garrard. The craftsmen faced a task that would make any jeweler tremble, creating something magnificent from the remnants of the past. Into their hands came Queen Adelaide's diamond circlet, already faded from its former glory, yet holding the potential for rebirth. Like medieval alchemists, Garrard's masters began their magic. They extracted diamonds from Queen Charlotte's wedding corsage, each stone carrying memories of grand ceremonies from the 18th century. To these, they added the mysterious Cumberland diamond, shrouded in legends of German dukes. The work proceeded smoothly until 1858, when the Hanoverian Claim struck, a political storm that could have destroyed all their plans. German relatives demanded the return of their family jewels, and suddenly the project teetered on the brink of collapse. All the carefully selected and mounted diamonds had to be removed and sent beyond Britain's borders. But Garrard's craftsmen refused to surrender. They showed resourcefulness worthy of history's greatest jewelers, replacing the lost stones with their own diamonds and gems from the royal vaults. By 1859, the crown achieved its final form, adorned with yet another remarkable stone, a gift from the Ottoman Sultan, symbolizing diplomatic ties between empires. But what did the Queen look like wearing this masterpiece? May 1856 gave the world one of the most famous royal portraits in history. Franz Xaver Winterhalter, court artist whose brush could capture not only physical likeness, but the very essence of power, created an image that would immortalize British monarchy's grandeur for centuries. On the canvas, Queen Victoria appears in all the splendor of her might. The royal crown, still in its original form, adorns her head like a crown of light and fire. Each heraldic fleur-de-lis, each cross sparkles on the canvas, creating an aura of divine authority around the monarch. But the portrait tells another story. The story of jewels that completed the royal image. A brooch with the Koh-i-Noor diamond gleams on the Queen's chest, recalling the recent acquisition of Indian territories. And Queen Charlotte's diamond chain encircles the ruler's neck, linking the present with the dynasty's glorious past. The irony of fate lay in the fact that this very chain would soon vanish from the royal collection. It too would have to be given to Hanoverian relatives, replaced by the coronation necklace. But on that May Day in 1856, no one suspected this yet. Winterhalter's portrait became more than just an image. It transformed into an icon of imperial power. However, this image of triumph was not the final captured moment of royal magnificence. November 1861 brought a special photography session to the royal chambers. Charles Clifford, master of the photographic arts, prepared to capture Queen Victoria wearing her beloved crown. No one suspected then that these images would become the final photographs of the monarch in full royal regalia. The Queen posed with the dignity that belongs only to true rulers. The crown sparkled in the studio lights, each diamond reflecting the strength and confidence of a woman who governed a quarter of the globe. The lens captured not just the outer brilliance of the jewels, but the inner glow of power that radiated from the Queen herself. But fate was preparing a cruel blow. Just 1 month after this session, Prince Albert, the Queen's beloved husband and faithful companion, departed this world. December 14, 1861, divided Victoria's life into before and after, transforming Clifford's November photographs into priceless testimony of a vanished era. Those images became the final documentary evidence of how the Queen appeared in her days of happiness, when precious stones served not only as symbols of power, but as ornaments for a woman who knew the joy of family life. After the December tragedy of 1861, the royal court plunged into mourning that would last for decades. Victoria didn't simply grieve for her husband, she transformed sorrow into a way of life, a philosophy of rule, a new aesthetic of monarchy. Magnificent tiaras and massive crowns suddenly seemed inappropriate to her. How could she sparkle with diamonds when her heart was breaking with pain? The royal crown, which had recently been a symbol of triumph, now appeared too bright, too joyful for a woman forever dressed in black. Gradually, Victoria began favoring more modest ornaments. The small diamond crown became her new choice. It was more elegant, quieter, matching her mood of perpetual sadness. The grand jewels remained in the treasury, as if frozen while waiting for better times. Yet the Queen didn't abandon the crown completely. From time to time she wore it to official events, but now this ornament carried different meaning. It reminded her not of the joy of power, but of duty that must be fulfilled despite personal grief. But what happened to the crown after the Victorian era came to an end? The new century brought new queens, each of whom had to determine her relationship to Victoria's legacy. Queen Alexandra, wife of Edward VII, made a surprising choice. Instead of wearing her predecessor's crown, she commissioned her own, nearly identical to the original. This decision spoke volumes. Alexandra understood the symbolic power of royal jewels, but wanted to create her own tradition, not remain in the shadow of the great Victoria. Her crown was both a tribute to the past and a declaration of a new era's beginning. Years passed, and Victoria's crown remained in the treasury, as if waiting for a worthy moment to return. That moment came in 1911, when Queen Mary decided to wear the historic ornament to the state opening of Parliament. The choice was symbolic. The ceremony took place before King George V's coronation, and Mary wanted to emphasize the dynasty's continuity. Victoria's crown sparkled in the parliamentary halls, reminding everyone present of previous reign's greatness. But this triumphant return proved to be a swan song. After Queen Mary's own crown was created, the ancient circlet vanished from the public stage, as if it had completed its final mission. It seemed that this remarkable ornament's era had ended forever. 1937 brought an unexpected turn in the fate of the royal jewels. King George VI's coronation was approaching, meaning his wife needed her own crown. But the royal treasury held no suitable ornament for the new queen consort. Then came a decision that would have shocked any collector: to dismantle Victoria's crown to create a new masterpiece. This act was both destructive and brilliant. The historic ornament had to perish to give birth to a new creation. Garrard's craftsmen began the delicate operation. Each diamond was removed with the greatest care, each stone given a new purpose. The legendary Koh-i-Noor and the Turkish diamond, a gift from Sultan Abdülmecid I in gratitude for Britain's support in the Crimean War, became the central elements of the future crown. From Victoria's magnificent crown, only an empty frame remained, a metal skeleton stripped of its diamond soul. This frame now rests in the London Museum as silent testimony to both greatness and sacrifice. But the story didn't end there. It received a completely new chapter. Queen Elizabeth's crown, the future Queen Mother, became a true revolution in jewellery craftsmanship. For the first time in British monarchy history, a crown was made from pure platinum, a metal just beginning to win recognition among jewellers. 2,800 diamonds found their place in Garrard's new creation. Each stone told its own story. Some came from Victoria's crown, others from various royal ornaments, creating an amazing mosaic of dynastic memory. At the center of the front cross sat the 125-carat Koh-i-Noor, a stone that had witnessed the fall of Indian empires and the rise of British rule. Beside it sparkled the 17-carat Turkish diamond, recalling diplomatic triumphs of the previous century. The crown's unique design allowed the arches at the cross points to be removed, transforming the full crown into an elegant circlet. This technical feature would make the crown even more versatile in the future, allowing it to be adapted for different ceremonies and changing times. Thus was born an ornament that would witness the grand historical events of the 20th century. After the tragic events of 1952, when King George VI passed away, his wife received a new title, Queen Mother. Along with the title came a change in her crown's status, which now became a symbol of matriarchal dignity. During Elizabeth II's coronation in 1953, the crown appeared in a new form, without its arches, as an elegant circlet that perfectly complemented the Queen Mother's ceremonial appearance at this historic event. The crown's full magnificence was revealed to the world one final time in 2002, when it was placed on the Queen Mother's coffin during the farewell ceremony. The diamonds sparkled in the lights, as if saluting a woman who had worn this crown with dignity for decades. Today, the crown is displayed in the Jewel House at the Tower of London, where millions of visitors can admire its beauty. But in September 2022, a new controversy erupted around it. There was speculation that Queen Camilla might be crowned with this very crown. The Indian government expressed sharp protests, stating that the appearance of the Koh-i-Noor on the new Queen's head would trigger painful memories of the colonial past. On February 14, 2023, the final decision was announced. Queen Camilla would be crowned with Queen Mary's crown, while the controversial diamond would remain in its museum display. So the story continues, proving that every royal ornament is not just a precious object, but a living document of its era that continues to influence politics and diplomacy, even centuries after its creation. From Victoria's crown to modern disputes about colonial legacy, the journey of these diamonds reflects all the complexity and contradictions of imperial history. Can you imagine? You're holding an exact replica of this crown in your hands. Gives you chills, doesn't it? Have you noticed how these diamonds play hide and seek with us through the centuries? Each stone seems to live its own life. If this story captivated you, give it a like. And tell us in the comments which moment seemed most incredible. Subscribe. There are so many more royal secrets ahead.